Today we're training spine segmentation. Find yourself on your mat, lying down on your back, heels on the mat, close towards the sit bones. We're using the mat as a reference point to ensure that we're rolling up our spine vertebrae by vertebrae or segment by segment, as the mat gives us feedback as to where our body is in space. Starting here, push the heels, just engage the low body, and then push the spine down in towards mat, form an imprint. Take a nice inhale, belly button to spine, lift the tailbone, and then keep that tailbone tucked. Now on your inhale, you're gonna push down into your imprint, finding that heaviest point, and on your exhale, you're gonna lift that neck spot off the spine. You're rolling up nice and slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae. You're lifting off the mat. As you can see, Chelsea's moving really slow. It's gonna be around 5 to 7 breaths all the way to the top, so take your time. No, it's okay if this is your first time or you're coming back into it and you're rolling up a little quicker. Just notice maybe where you find those blind spots where there's chunks of the spine rolling up at one time. If you're already at the top, you can just hang out there, squeeze the glutes, engage the body. And we're gonna keep going for 2 and 1. Once we're at the top, drive the heels away from the body and then start to glue the vertebrae back down to the mat, starting with those shoulders. You're pushing down. We're working just as slow on the way down as we did on the way up, keeping that tuck of the tailbone the entire time. You're gonna have to start to fight for it as you get down into that low back. So move nice and slowly. If you're already on the mat, take a little bit of movement, maybe some windshield wipers, relax the glutes, and you can get ready for the second round. If you're still moving nice and slow like Chelsea, take your break here. And when we go into that second round, think about going a little slower than you did in that first round, bringing in a bit more control. Tuck the tailbone, belly button to spine, push down to the mat, make your imprint, tuck the tailbone, and then on your exhale, lift that first heavy point in that low back. We're thinking segment by segment, vertebrae by vertebrae as you roll up the spine, moving nice and slow. Remember, you can pause at any point, trying to push down before you lift, peeling each vertebrae off the mat. Take your time. Working nice and slow to get onto those shoulder blades. If you're at the top, hold at the top. We'll meet you there in 3, 2, 1. Drive the heels away from the body. And then on your exhale, you're gluing the vertebrae back down to the mat, vertebrae by vertebrae. Moving just as slow as you did on the way up. Trying to fight that tuck of the tailbone, keeping it all the way until those hips touch back down. Trying to segment through that low back and not letting it just drop all together. And then once those hips touch back down, take a little bit of movement that would feel good for you. Maybe knees in towards chest, releasing the glutes and the low back. You can peel shoulders off the mat, nose to knees if that feels good for you. And then we'll find ourselves in a tabletop position, shifting on to all fours, stack knees on top of hips and shoulders on top of wrists. From your tabletop, drop down to the elbows, keep elbows in line with hands, and then push the elbows in towards the mat, separate the shoulder blades, hunch through that upper back. Now we don't want the upper back to move. We're isolating upper from lower back here. And on your inhale, we're dropping the belly down towards the mat. Keep the shoulders nice and still. Find your extension. Now tuck the tailbone, push up towards the sky, find flexion. Just moving through that low back. Shoulders are staying nice and still. Inhale, drop the belly. You can imagine your pelvis like a bowl of cereal here. You're pouring the cereal onto the mat, and then on your exhale, you're tucking that tailbone, saving your bowl of cereal. Whatever visual helps you isolate low back from upper back. Let's take 5 more rounds here. Inhaling to drop, noticing if you can move a little more controlled and slow with each round, tucking the tailbone, curling through that low back. Inhale, drop down. Think about rolling vertebrae by vertebrae as you drop the belly. And then you're pushing that low back up towards the sky. Find that flexion. We have 3 more rounds here. Keep that engagement through the elbows, separating the shoulder blades. 2 more. Maybe you notice a little bit more control with these last few rounds. Tuck the tailbone nice and slow, trying not to rush through it. And then 1 more round. Drop the tailbone. And then tuck. Now it might feel nice to untuck the toes, drop the hips down towards the heels, and just come into a child's pose, stretching out through the side body for a moment. And then instead of working into our low back, now we're isolating the upper back from the low back. So keep the knees in towards the chest. We're drawing arms out in front of the body, drawing elbows to the mat, and then drag the elbows towards the knees. Finding a nice straight spine here. As you can see, the belly is pressing against the thighs. We want to keep that compression through the belly and the thighs. And on your inhale, just gaze forward. On your exhale, draw the chin in towards the chest. Just starting to work through the neck. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, tuck chin in towards chest. Now on your inhale in here, can you gaze forwards and try to drag your elbows towards your knees, finding a little bit extension in the upper back. And then on your exhale, push the elbows away from the body, curl through the upper back, separate shoulder blades, tuck chin in towards chest. Inhale, gaze forward, try to pull that chest through the arms, dragging hands towards knees. And then exhale, push those hands away from the body, curl through the spine, tuck chin in towards chest. Let's take 3 more rounds here together. Inhale, pull that chest forward. Think about a string pulling that chest towards the front of your mat, find extension. And then exhale, curl through the spine, find a stretch in between the shoulder blades as you tuck the chin in towards the chest. 2 more rounds here, inhaling into your extension. Exhale, find flexion rolling through that spine, tuck chin in towards chest. Last one, how slow and controlled can you be here? Working through that spine like a wave-like sensation. And then find your last cat. Full expression at the top. And then you can relax it out into a full child's pose. We're going to take this 1 step deeper, coming into a deeper extension and flexion. You might find a more limited range of motion here, but really think about that control in both the transitions and your extremes in flexion and extension. Draw the arms out fully in front of the body. Reaching those hands forward, drop the elbows to the mat. The elbows are our contact point once again. And on your inhale, gaze towards the top of your mat. Exhale, chin in towards chest. You'll notice a little bit more limited range. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, tuck chin in towards chest. And now let's add in the arms and the extension. Inhale, gaze forward, drag the elbows, reach the chest forward, and exhale, curl, separate the shoulder blades, chin in towards chest. Inhale, try to pull those elbows in, pulling that chest forward. Exhale, push away, curl through the spine. 1 more round here. Notice how this feels in comparison to the elevated version. Inhale into your extension. Exhale, curl, find flexion. Now rest it out, drop the forehead, let the arms rest wherever they feel comfortable. And when you're ready, you can make your way into a tabletop position as we connect the low back, the upper back, and the neck all together. Our spine has 24 movable joints. We want to work in a wave-like sensation through our spine rather than just one hinge point, dropping the belly and flexing. We want to create space through all the vertebrae. So here we're going to start in our cow position. Drop the belly, gaze forward, squeeze shoulder blades together. Starting with the tailbone, shoulders aren't moving. push the tailbone up towards the sky, find flexion, and then start to work up the spine. Imagine ghost fingers walking up the spine, pushing in towards the fingers as you curl through the spine, push through the hands, separate shoulder blades, and tuck chin in towards chest. Find that full expression, gaze towards the toes. Now that gaze is staying at the toes for as long as you can here. Shoulders aren't moving yet. We drop the tailbone, belly button to the mat. Now continue to curl up the spine. As you work in between those shoulder blades, you're going to start to squeeze shoulder blades together. That gaze is still fighting to look towards the toes. And then at that very last minute, come through that double chin, gazing all the way up towards the sky. Find your extension. Now gaze stays in front of you for as long as you can. You tuck the tailbone, shoulders stay still. Fight that gaze for as long as you can, gazing forwards until that very last point. Start to push through the hands, separate the shoulder blades, and tuck chin in towards the chest. Let's take one more round all together here. Inhale, start to drop the belly, rolling through the spine. Think about nice and slow. Vertebrae by vertebrae, we're working into the shoulders. Squeeze shoulder blades together. Gaze is fighting, and then you come through that double chin, gazing upwards. Now shoulders stay still once again. Push in towards the hands. Rolling through the spine, vertebrae by vertebrae. Then pushing through the hands, separating the shoulder blades, tucking chin in towards the chest. Find your cat. Once you gaze towards the toes, squeeze the front of the neck, and then let it go. Take any rest that you need, and we'll see you in the next video.